Hi, this is John Ondo from Marketing Media and Cupcakes. And before we get into today's episode, I just want to say thank you so much for listening. We're back after being gone for over 4.5 years. And I hope you get a chance to listen to episode 77, where we explain why we were gone for so long and that we're back for at least 3 more episodes. Angel and I are big supporters of entrepreneurship, and we love small businesses and faith-based businesses. And we just want to encourage you through our podcast each week. What's going to determine if we continue with more episodes will be the response. Subscribe to us on your platform. Send us an email at john@ondomedia.com. That would help us know you're listening and you want more episodes. So thank you so much, and let's get into today's episode. If you're somebody sitting there today thinking, I know I am meant for something more, which I think is a key thing we all ask ourselves, you need to listen to this episode. So
I guess I should have listened to the episode before I answered your question, because
that would be kind of difficult because we can't
given you
go
a better
back
answer
to start the episode we're already in.
I don't know. There's a time warp.
I don't know.
This is the small business podcast that is sweeter than all the rest. Marketing, media, and cupcakes.
Welcome to episode 53 of Marketing Media and Cupcakes. I'm John Ondo, along with my beautiful wife, Angel.
Hi there.
And I know we have talked about this many times because we're married and we talk occasionally.
Once in a while.
When we're not working.
Well, yeah, we don't talk as much as you think, but it's okay.
Well, but have you thought about just, not jumping off a cliff, but have you ever thought?
Many times.
Probably, well, since you married me, I'm sure.
No,
but
beforehand.
How many times have you thought about, I wish I could just go back and go and have a new identity and rebrand myself?
Could I have a do-over?
Yeah, do a mulligan.
Well, if I could have a do-over, I require the last 20-some plus years worth of knowledge to go with me on said do-over. Because I'm pretty confident I'd probably do the same thing again, just because that's who I am, being a Taurus and all. I like my comfort and my sameness, so I'd probably do exactly what I done did.
Okay.
Had I met someone else, I don't know. I believe, as we've talked about, I do believe God puts people in your path for certain reasons. So I believe I met my first husband when I met him for the reasons that led me to where I am right now. And I believe he led me to you, which is why I have continued
God
on
bless
my
the
path.
broken road.
Yes.
Thank you
that led me
so
straight
much.
to you.
Thank you for that corny reference.
It wasn't what I was saying. You brought it up, sir.
No, I was just asking. I just was wanting to know if you wanted to have a different name or a different brand or something. But I loved what you said, though. It was very nice.
Oh, well, again, you're going to have to script me if you want something different next time.
I don't do that.
My only hope would I have liked to have gone to pastry school and done all the things that I've talked about before on many other podcasts that you hear me whining about wishing I'd been a baker? Yeah, that would have been nice. But then I look retrospectively of what people who have those jobs have to do and what they sacrifice and what they've, what they may have gained or
overanalyze
lost.
everything too much is the problem, I think, is what we're dealing with here.
Well,
we
should just move on.
Well, no, just the question would be if you wanted to go out and just start all over again with your career.
Sorry.
I don't think you would do it.
You don't think I would do what I'm doing now?
No, you would do it. You would not change your path.
Probably not.
If I said tomorrow you could just change your job, go to a different path, you wouldn't do it.
No, because again, it frightens me.
Okay. Well, thank you, Senator. That concludes my interrogation. So,
do you want to redo that, or is that
no? It's
okay. Just checking.
No, I'm fine. So, with us today, joining us again after just being with us a few weeks ago, Shelly Stotzer.
Yay!
Is with us.
Hello.
I love her title. It's Career and Talent Strategist.
Ooh,
that's really cool. Did you come
fancy.
up with that? Did somebody give you that one?
We came up with it together at Crossworks as a team.
Okay, cool.
So that's a perfect segue. So this is what Shelly does now, is she helps people with careers and branding and personal brands. And so if you're somebody sitting there today thinking, I know I am meant for something more, which I think is a key thing we all ask ourselves, you need to listen to this episode. So
I guess I should have listened to the episode before I answered your question, because
that would be kind of difficult because we can't
given you
go
a better
back
answer
to start the episode we're already in.
I don't know. There's a time warp.
I don't know. So
No?
Shelly,
Okay.
what makes you great at this job is that you've gone through it yourself. You've gone through the rebranding process and a change. So give me your life story in a couple of minutes here of how you got to where you are.
Sure. I was in publishing for over 19 years, and I loved my job for the vast majority of that. And it really informed who I was, how I behaved, the types of behaviors and skills that I had learned. And then one day I started waking up a little less excited about my work.
Yep.
And I'm a bit of a high energy workaholic, to be quite frank.
Sure.
And when I'm not excited about what I'm doing, I know I need to make a change.
Oh,
But it
okay.
took me quite some time to get there. So I hired CrossWorks as
Oh.
my source of career coaching to help me determine what I wanted to do next.
So were you thinking maybe this is running out, or did you think something was wrong in your compass, or what were you thinking?
For about 2 years, when I was waking up, I would say, I'm not as excited as I was yesterday. And and in a year from now, if I'm still feeling like that, because the grass is not always greener on the other side, I'm going to do something about that. And so about 2 years in, I started reaching out to folks who I knew. I had a pretty good network, had access to some really high-level executives throughout Columbus, Ohio, because I was in the C-suite.
Right.
And I would have great conversations, and they would look at me and they would say, I really like you. I want to work with you. Come back when you know what you want to do.
Ah, okay.
So that's when I decided to hire CrossWorks to help me tell my story. And I came out of that and I said, you know what? I want to be the CEO or a COO of a small organization that I want to grow from nothing. And I really like healthcare and energy for a lot of reasons, including they're necessary. They're not going away.
Yep.
And so I came out of that and I went to IGS, where I launched a residential solar division.
Cool.
Okay.
And so I reinvented myself completely. I had spent 19 years in publishing. I knew nothing about energy.
So did that make you wake up in the morning happy, or were you?
It did. I loved the environment. I loved the industry. And I'll tell you what, in order to rebrand myself, I had to do a lot of work. I had to be curious. I had to be excited. I had to be confident. I had to be clear. And that's a lot of what I'm going to talk about today
Yeah.
is the importance of all of those things
Sure.
in order to reinvent yourself. I was all in and I loved it. And then I did it again. I reinvented myself again, going from an executive in the energy industry to being an entrepreneur and a coach.
Wow.
Wow.
So let's break that down. Reinventing yourself, and I know there's people there. I know I have reinvented things. Although I've stayed in media, I've reinvented some brands and this and that. And you're getting into your cupcake things because
Yes.
my wife has a cupcake business on the side from her customer service job that she does. So when you reinvent, is it? Do you have to completely do a polar opposite? How does that work if you're thinking? Because I know a lot of people in our age, and our kids are getting out of the house soon, we hope, and we want to enjoy that and do something new. Maybe how's that work? How's reinventing our brand work?
Well, first of all, you really have to know thyself. Take the time to think about what you really want next. And when we talk about your brand and we talk about reinventing yourself, it's more than just the role. Like, did I want to go from a marketing executive to the leader of a solar division? Yes, but it's more than just the role. It's who you are, what your values are, what's important to you. And regardless of whether you're 19 or 60, taking the time, if you've never done it before, to sit back and say, who am I authentically? What do I do well? And when I say know thyself, or you hear the phrase self-awareness, it's not just what you do to irritate the other people. Like, yes, I'm self-aware that when I do that, it irritates them. That's good. Yes, you should know that. But you should also own what you're passionate about, what you love, what you do well, how you behave naturally, and really get to know yourself. That is the first step of any reinvention, is to get to that level of knowledge so that you can be authentic.
And honest. Because I think we all take, certain, right now the Enneagram is all the rage. Everyone's doing the Enneagram.
Yes.
And if you take the test, and I've tried taking it multiple times, being very, very honest with not what I think, but the right, and I still keep coming up as the same answer. Well, so I'm like, okay, fine, I'm a 2, whatever. But I think other people answer it in the way they perceive themselves to be. And it's not necessarily so. What was funny is, and if my daughter, who I don't think listens, but if you are, she took it and said she was a 2, which she just wasn't sure. And so her husband, every time she answered a question, he'd go, no, you're not like that at all. And she's like, oh, and so when she found out she was a 1 with a wing 2 or something, but she was not the nicey nice whatever that a 2 whatever is supposed to be. And it was a little bit shocking for her. So
it is very difficult to get rid of the societal noise and really say what's honest and authentic to you. And a Harvard Business Review study suggests that 85% of people think they're self-aware, but only 15% really are.
yeah, sounds about right.
It's very difficult to sit aside all of the judgments that you have of others and you have of yourself and say, what is true?
Mm-hmm. Very much.
So I work in media, so we deal with branding on a corporate level for businesses, and I always go back to what our friend Phil Cook says. It goes back to the days of cattle, and you brand the cattle so you know that cow or whatever belongs to this ranch.
Yep.
So when this talks to personal branding, because I think a lot of us, when you say branding to me, I'm thinking Kleenex and brands and so forth. How does this work personally? Because it's you used to be, well, I'm going to get another job. Here's my resume. You're talking about you have a brand you should be presenting. How's it? So kind of give me that before we go on.
So first of all, keep in mind how public things are today.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just have a resume that only goes to the people that you share it with. First of all, email, things are shared. You've got LinkedIn, you've got Facebook, you've got people talking about you, tagging you.
Mm-hmm.
It is very difficult to control your brand.
Mm-hmm.
So you better be clear on how you want to be seen and perceived and manage it actively. So one of the things we talk about a lot at CrossWorks is no one can speak more clearly and confidently about who you are than you.
Yep.
In order to manage your brand, in order to live your values, you need to understand what they are. So that goes back to the know thyself. So once you know thyself, understand how to communicate who you are and what you stand for, and make sure it's consistent across all the different touch points. We like to go through an exercise called your 6-word brand. And if you can narrow down who you are and what you represent in 6 words, it can be incredibly powerful.
Wow.
Can I repeat a word or two?
Sure.
Hot wings. Hot wings. That gives me 2 more. Okay.
Yeah.
No, but that makes a lot of sense because I'm shocked. I was one of the early people on Facebook back in 2005.
Yes, you were.
And it's considered an old school platform now. Yet so many people, I look them up because maybe I'm going to do work with them. They've called me, and I see a ridiculous headshot and vulgar things on their posts. And I'm like, do you not realize I don't want to work with you because I'm afraid that's what I'm going to deal with? That is your brand, is conflict or something. People don't think about that. I'm surprised. I'm just shocked people don't think about it. I know a lot of people don't think about it because they think it's their personal life. I don't know.
They don't. And that is why the 6-word branding exercise can be very helpful in guiding your priorities, your decisions, your actions, what you post. My 6-word brand, for example.
I want to hear what yours is.
I have worked on it, and I feel very confident that it reflects who I am down to the core. And mine, for example, is empower, connect, grow. Anything is possible.
Ooh, that's a nice little. It's a tagline. So, do you have any tips as far as when you sit down and think, "Oh, I want to create my 6 words"?
Yeah, I'm very intrigued on where do I go? What quiz do I take?
There is no quiz. In fact,
no quiz.
You have the answers.
Oh, I do.
You'd be shocked. We do a lot of workshops, and this is a big part of our programs, is to step back and think, how do I describe myself in 6 words? And there's a litmus test, right? Like my entire life, when people say to me, "That's not possible," I always pause and look at them and say, is it not possible or is it not the right thing to do? Because that's different. Maybe you shouldn't spend the money. Maybe you shouldn't spend the time. Maybe it doesn't make sense, but is it possible? That has been part of who I am forever.
Gotcha.
And so there are things you say, there are things you do, there are things that you live unconsciously that you can sit back and start with just a big blank piece of paper. Just start writing things down.
Okay.
And then start grouping them and then start thinking about what's most important. And once you have that 6-word brand, it can influence your decisions on a day-to-day basis. How do you want to be seen? Does it fit that 6-word brand? And if you're on the edge of what's right, what's wrong, it can help you make those decisions. And if you don't control your brand is controlling you because people are making judgments and putting a brand on you, whether you like it or not.
Oh, yeah.
So why not think about what you want it to be and live it?
Yep.
So just like with any business, I'm assuming, and one of the things I think that's interesting for those of us, we're in our 50s, and we don't really want to retire. So I could see both of us rolling out of our current job someday and consulting or doing other things. For some people, though, maybe they had a bad experience. People go through divorces. People go through bad jobs. Can you repair a brand that maybe you had a problem? Maybe you were fired a few times. You had a reputation. Is there a way to fix that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Next question. Oh, no.
How?
Well, first of all, you have to know what you want to be known for. If you don't want to be known for that, what do you want to be known for? And then every choice you make, from what you put on LinkedIn, and I'm going to focus on LinkedIn because career is our primary focus, and that's a big source.
It's the responsible social media platform, as they say.
I don't know. I've seen some pretty sketchy stuff on LinkedIn. It's the choice of the people that are, when they're out there hitting on my friends and they're like, do you know this person?
They do that on LinkedIn?
Yes.
You're not supposed to do that on LinkedIn.
That's Facebook.
That's Facebook and the other stuff.
I'm just telling you what my friends have told me, and
shame on you. LinkedIn's for serious people. Go away.
Yeah.
All
Just
right.
saying.
So everything on your LinkedIn profile, from the picture that you have as your profile picture to the piece behind it, there's a generic blue piece that LinkedIn puts in. What do you put there? What is your headline? And when it comes to your headline is not your job. Your job is a part of you. So if your headline is accountant for X, that is not your brand. That is just a piece of who you are. That is what is down below. Your jobs and your roles inform your brand, but that is not your brand. So what skills you have tagged and what you're endorsed for, the types of recommendations you have, all of that is going to influence the way the world sees you. And that's great. Making sure your LinkedIn brand is correct, making sure your resume is consistent with that, all of that is important. But what's most important is to live that brand. Because you can put anything you want to on paper, but if you don't treat the people the way you say is important to you, if you don't make the choices that you say represent your brand, none of that matters, because people are smart and they can see right through a false pitch.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to say anything else on that one.
Oh, okay. You're dropping the mic. She dropped the mic
Oh,
on that
I'm
one.
sorry. It was lovely, but I was like, there's so many people I could talk about, but I will not.
I thought it'd be fun. Maybe I could share a couple other 6-word brands.
Please.
Yes.
One of our coaches, and I love this one, hers is dream big, bold, pull people up.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't that create a picture in your head
Yes,
of
it
who she
does.
is?
Good
Yes.
action words. Yes,
I
very
like
much.
that.
Well, and I go back to something that was said a long time ago by another entrepreneur that I'm very fond of. People pay to solve problems. So if to me, that's always been something I'm always running through with my company brand, but my company brand is my brand. So it's like, we can solve your communication problem, or we can solve video or audio or whatever we might be working on. But it's like people pay to solve problems. We were just discussing ahead of time. We were dealing with some stuff with our websites, and I'm like, I can't do anymore. I'm going to pay someone to solve my problem because I'm done working on this thing. So, but again, if you don't know what problems a person solves, that doesn't help me. I don't need an accountant, but maybe you're a wizard at tax.
Right.
Tax, solving tax problems for small businesses. Well, now you just got me now.
And at Crossworks, we believe that you have those answers. We just give you the tools. The problem we solve is to give you the tools to sort through all of that noise, that societal noise, the feedback you've received, regardless of what you've been doing. How can you sort through all that and create a brand and create a target and create clarity and focus around what you want to do?
So let me throw this in and ask you this question, because I know we've talked about this many times. We talked about this a lot in the beginning of the year before the whole COVID thing happened, but fear. People live in fear. They think, I've been here, I've got a secure job, but they're waking up not happy. I'm just going to kick back for 5 more years and cash it in. And then I don't know what you do. So when you've had people come to you and say, I don't know if I can do that, I'm scared, I've never had a brand, I don't think I'm worth that much, how do you walk them through that?
That is a fantastic question. And one of the things that we try to get them to understand is, would you rather live the next 5 years miserable, or would you rather spend the next 10? Because odds are, if you love your job and you're being authentic, you will want to work longer.
Yeah.
And so even a pay cut, let's talk about that, because that's something that comes up a lot. If you're making X and you're afraid that you might not make X anymore, what if you made a little less than X, but you did it for a lot longer? Your financial situation's actually better.
Sure, that's good.
So there are some things that we need to get people to kind of reframe their thinking and see the value in living your values, understanding your values first, living your values, understanding your worth, understanding what you bring to the table. And in some cases, and this is true, sometimes people come to me and they say, I don't want to work here anymore, or I don't want to be an X, whatever that job is anymore. And when we sort through the noise, we find that it's not where they work, even though they thought so, or it's not actual job role that they're in. It is where they're doing it. So we have to kind of sort through some of that. And it's worth investing to understand. And then you can make a choice. At the end of that, you can look at it and say, okay, I get it now. And I'm going to live with what I've got because I don't think it's worth the trade-off. Or, gosh, I'm just going to keep my eyes open because I see what I'm missing now and I see what I want. And I'm just going to not take anything unless it makes me more excited than what I have. Or sometimes that opportunity is right next to you or right in front of you and you don't even know it because you're not clear.
So I have to ask this question. How do you deal with those who have fear? 100, it doesn't matter. I guess I'm talking for myself.
If they know if they know they need to make a change, they just can't.
Yeah. It's literally
paralyzed.
Paralyzing, debilitating.
Are these your 6 words?
That's me. Oh, I could come up with a not very positive 6-word hooflopper for myself right now, but we will keep it to myself. But yeah, fear, absolute. I mean, I'll just say it. I've been in the same department for 27 years. I don't want to start over. Oh my God, are you insane? Why would I want to do that? I'd rather suffer than do that. That is where I'm at. So how do you deal with someone
like her,
like me?
But
who would rather not?
And it's not uncommon. So I want to start there. Your situation is not uncommon. We start with understanding what looks better. Because one of the things we see is that until someone can envision what they want that looks better than what they have, it's hard, right? Like, I don't know what's better. I don't know what's out there. I'm comfortable where I am. I don't have a picture in my head, or the picture seems so unattainable that I can't imagine getting there. So I'll use an example with your cupcakes. There are things about making cupcakes that makes you happy.
Yes.
You don't have to be a baker full time to get closer to some of those things.
Okay.
There are things between where you are and your dream that will make you happier than where you are.
Okay.
I don't know where, I have no idea how happy you are with your job. I'm not suggesting any of that. I'm just saying, I know that you love baking. So what we try to do first is help people envision what better looks like, what ideal looks like. And then we say, if here's where you are and here's where you want to be, what are all the possibilities to get closer to where you want to be? And you don't have to do anything.
Sure.
You can wait, and you should hold yourself accountable for not taking something until you're pretty darn sure that what you're going to take is going to be better than what you have. Sometimes that's within your organization. Sometimes that's outside your organization. Sometimes that's completely reinventing yourself. But understanding, and we break it into 3 areas. We break it into role, environment, and leader.
Okay.
And understanding where you are on all of those things, and then saying, I'm not going to trade off something that I have that I love for something that is equally good. Like, what's the point in that?
Exactly.
Because you're just going to be the same, just for different reasons. So if you can envision what you want, then people can start. One of my 6 words is empowering, right? So we're empowering you to say, I have the knowledge. I'm going to do what I want with it. I'm going to hold myself accountable, and I'm going to stay objective, and I'm not going to just jump from the frying pan into the fire. I'm going to be deliberate and thoughtful about anything that I do and where I spend my time and who I connect with and where I spend my energy looking.
Okay.
So a quick sidebar to that is, as we're doing this, the economy's opening up. Businesses are opening up. Many people are laid off. Some are coming back. But a lot of people are using this as an opportunity to do a job change. Do you see this as a time that people should be thinking, this is a good time to switch midstream?
So we are doing regular webinars where we have an open Ask the Coach. These are free. We have hey, how do you manage your LinkedIn profile? We have panelists come and talk about what it's like to be a recruiter. And this question comes up a lot in all of these sessions. Here is our opinion. Now is a fantastic time to step back, think about what you want. Going back to, you don't have to do anything right now, but there are companies hiring. There are industries that are on fire right now. There are industries that are clearly struggling. And if what you want to do is in an industry that's struggling, there's no reason why you still can't put your feelers out there, network, get your brand aligned, get everything in order now, read, learn. Online classes are free on a lot of major schools right now.
It just seems like never before in our economy with Zoom and working from home. And I know we've talked to our neighbor, and they're already coming up with policies that they're going to be working from home and looking at it as a long-term solution, that people could literally reboot their careers because it's the perfect time, because some jobs aren't going to come back and other new jobs are being created. And it's like, I just would hate for me, I love where I'm at, but I would hate to be the person 2 years down the line. If I had just moved in 2020 quickly, I could be, and you have that would have, could have thing.
And right now is a great time to at least think about it. Get your all your ducks in a row. Think about the industries that are growing like crazy: healthcare, in-house fitness, anything IT, any security, anything video. There are organizations that, for example, if there's a house fire, this sounds crazy, but people don't think about it. If there's a house fire, which are up right now because people are spending more time at home, people who come in and clean those things, there are lots of industries that are growing, even though what we hear the most about are those that are shrinking. And don't get me wrong, I get that the economy is rough right now. I'm not going to ignore that, but it is a good time to step back, retool. You have more time on your hands, more time to read, more time to look at getting certifications in areas that you might not have had time to do before.
Look for opportunities.
It's an opportunity.
Yep. Well, one last mention you have here on the when we were talking about this is breathe. What does that mean?
Once you understand your brand and it's authentic and you start putting it out there and you're empowered, you can breathe. Because so many times we are trying to be everything to everyone. And what I say to my daughters a lot is, if you're everything to everyone, then who really are you? And once you settle into your authenticity and your brand, now, if you're trying to be a brand that you're not, breathing's going to be a little difficult. If you are living your authentic brand, it's much easier to breathe.
Right. Because I could see that happening with a lot of people. They sit back and say, I want to be Joe Rogan, and you're not Joe Rogan, or I want to be this person. And we like people, we want to be people, but I can't be Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't like to work out. But, it would be fun to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. But I think a lot of people do that. They think I would like to be Elon Musk, or I'd like to be these, and they're, great models to look after, but that doesn't work for everyone,
My first question would be why? Because often people say, I want to get promoted. I say, why? Is it the power? Is it the prestige? Is it the money? Is it what is it? And there are lots of ways to get what it is you're looking for.
Yep.
Beyond what's obvious. So Schwarzenegger, why? Do you want to, what about that? And then there are lots of paths to get there.
Yeah. So basically, a quick overview, but what you do is if you can contact Shelly, you will walk them through, help them find those 6 words, which kind of are the foundation for building everything else with what you do, with your talent strategy, right?
Yes.
So tell folks how they can get a hold of you and they can get this process started, because there's opportunities to be made right now.
Yes, there is.
Excellent. So whether you're an individual looking for some type of career support, what do I want to be? How do I make it happen? What should my brand look like? Or you're a successful executive and trying to be more productive in your work. Both cases, we are helping people understand their identity and leverage that to be their best selves at work. And you can reach us. You can go to our website, which is www.crossworks.com. It's spelled CROSWORKS.com. And there's a place to schedule a free introductory call. You can learn more about our services, no obligation. And if you're just curious about the things we talk about, you can follow us on Facebook or LinkedIn.
Very cool.
Neat.
And if you want to, we'll have all that in the show notes, as well as ondomedia.com, which is our video and podcast production company. And if you like cupcakes, Angel you need to get your blog going again with some cupcake ideas.
My
and stuff.
blog.
Well, you have a thing on your website with different, you'd see all of Angel's cupcakes on there.
Delicious.
Well, yes, I have. I just posted some new pics.
Yes.
But my Instagram is the one you're going to see the most current, because it's just the easiest one to
Angel's
maintain.
Custom Cupcakes. Just look for it.
Find me.
So wherever
on
you're,
Yelp.
whatever you're doing right now, don't wake up hating your life and hating your job. Find a way out of that, whether it's fixing what's going on or something new, because we want to be here to encourage you to continue to have a fun life and keep living the dream.
Connect with John and Angel via Facebook and Instagram and let us know your thoughts. Marketing, Media, and Cupcakes is a production of Ondo Media.